All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back. And before we get to the Malzberg panel, where we're going to talk about some movement and issues within the Catholic Church and a big gathering today in Baltimore, let me just remind you to pick up your copy of the great new book by Dick Morris, Newsmax contributor, political analyst. It's called Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. It's a #1 Amazon bestseller. It's been that way for about 6 weeks or more. Everybody has it. Get your copy. Go to powergrab411.com and get yours now. All right, joining us on the Malzberg panel, co-host of Close Encounter, Lisa Jandovitz, and senior editor at The Catholic Thing, Brad Miner. All right, so let me start with you, Lisa. There's a meeting in Baltimore today. The Catholic bishops are meeting, and this comes in the wake of yet another, what some have called demotion for a very outspoken and conservative U.S. Cardinal, Raymond Burke, over the weekend. What's going on? Well,
Cardinal Burke's reassignment or demotion, whichever way it's looked at, it was largely expected, and this has been reported before the Bishops' Synod, which was last month. This was reported back in September. What is unusual is that a cardinal of his stature and of his age was not reassigned to a comparable position. Basically, he has a position right now that is largely ceremonial or honorary. However, the Vatican, what's not unusual is that the Vatican is not saying what the reason is for his reassignment. And priests, this is something that priests live with. They can be reassigned at any point. And that's just the way that it is. And there is some tension coming off of the Synod. There are two very different camps in terms of those that are of the more traditional church teaching and those that are perhaps a bit more progressive. So we will see.
Brad, I have to say, and I think I'm echoing the feelings, at least according to the reports I've read of some of the bishops, and as an outsider, and that's what I am, I'm confused. I mean, I get these mixed messages and mixed signals. Certainly, the doctrine isn't changing. The point of view on gay marriage isn't changing, etc. Priests marrying, none of that is changing or changed. Yet you keep getting fuel for the media to interpret this Pope as, well, maybe it's coming. And I find it confusing, but that doesn't matter. I'm not Catholic. But from what I see, some of the bishops are, a little confused, or as one person put it, disoriented as well. Is that accurate?
To some extent it is. Confusion about the Catholic Church is amplified many times over by the tendency of the media to look for a story that they can understand. And so there's this tendency for them to see what's going on in Rome as the same sort of thing that's going on in Washington. But it's not. The church moves in different ways. It makes its decision in different ways. But this Pope, Pope Francis, is someone who, rather than his predecessors, likes off-the-cuff comments. He also likes the rough and tumble of conversation. I'm sure he would be wonderful to have dinner with, because there would be nothing you couldn't talk about, nothing you couldn't say. Whereas I think that there was a certain attitude that the other two previous popes had, where you would want to be very careful what you said.
Right. Now, Brad, let me just point out, these are the words of Bishop Thomas Tobin of Providence, Rhode Island. Pope Francis is fond of creating a mess. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I was quoting a comment that he made when he was at the World Youth Day in Rio de Janeiro, where he told all the young people to go home and make a mess in their parish. But what he meant was to get out there and shake people up, profess Christ in the streets of the cities that they come from, that sort of thing. And Burke has said that the ship of the faith is rudderless right now. There have been other comments by other bishops that would lead you to think that they are forming themselves in direct opposition to the Holy Father.
Let me get Lisa in here.
That's not true.
Yeah, okay, not true.
And I think also what Pope Francis has always, I think he let this be known when he was in Argentina. He wants to be a pope of the people. He wants to walk with the people, and what that means is he needs to have an understanding of where people are at. Not that long ago, he gave to bishops around the world a questionnaire to give to Catholics, ordinary Catholics, because he wanted to know what they felt about church teachings, about certain issues. He wants to know, he knows that the world today is not the world that it was 40 years ago.
And of course, we'll see what comes out of the meeting today in Baltimore, and hopefully some of the confusion will be...
Not much.
Well, yeah, okay, well, we'll see. Brad, thank you, and Lisa, thank you. Up next, Newsmax Deputy Financial Editor Rob Williams. How'd the markets do?